Hi, movie summary here. Today I'll be showing you an action, science fiction movie from 2021 titled Boss Level. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie starts showing Roy Pulver, a retired Delta Force soldier in Atlanta, awakens in his loft with a machete-wielding man trying to kill him. He playfully dodges the attacks and disarms the assassin before a helicopter gunner kills the man, believing him to be Roy. Roy aims at the gunner with a knife piercing through his head, causing the helicopter to crash into Roy's apartment. We can see him staring at a picture of himself and a woman as he remembers that it wasn't always this way. There was actually a time he was happy. He looks at his watch and leaps speedily from the window into a truck full of sand. He then carjacks a man and is chased by a pair of assassins whose names are Esmeralda and Pam. The chase continues as they repeatedly shoot at Roy until his car is hit by a bus, into which he is thrown and dies. Roy reveals he has been reliving the same day for over 4 months, with the same series of events all repeating themselves daily. He also adds that he is being targeted by multiple assassins repeatedly, so much so that he now knows their names, locations, and strategies. He introduces us to some of the assassins like Gwen Yin, whose name ironically means Goddess of Mercy, Kaboom, who is a dwarf but an expert with explosives. He adds that no matter how hard he tries to escape the assassins, they finally catch up with him and kill him every day. Roy maintains that he is confused and has never even had the time to find out why this is happening to him, because every day he begins to fight for his life right from when he opens his eyes in the morning. On attempt 48, Roy tries to call his estranged wife Gemma. Her phone is answered by her boss, Colonel Clive Venter, head of defense contractor Dynow Labs. Venter tells Roy that Gemma died the previous evening in an accident in the lab. Roy is suspicious, but is killed before he can act on the information. We see Roy again driving and trying to escape Pam and Esmeralda. He somehow manages to blow them up in their car, and afterwards he heads to a bar where he meets the barman, Jake, with whom he is already familiar, and a security agent named Dave, who advises him against his drinking, and in no time, as always, the assassins track him down to the bar and kill him. He also makes it a point of note that he has never lived past 12:47 p.m., so he always comes to the bar to enjoy his last moments. In the unlooped timeline, we are taken to the day before the loops begin. Roy visits Gemma at her workplace in Dynow Labs, believing she has gotten him a job interview. Gemma and Roy argue over their son Joe because Gemma has not told him that Roy is his father. She insists that Roy loves his job more than the idea of having a family. Gemma reveals that she needs Roy's services, not the company, and the job she is hiring him for is quite important and top secret. Gemma cuts some hair off Roy's head. He is surprised and asks why she's acting weird. A security guard comes in and informs Gemma that Colonel Venter wants to speak with her. She hugs him and whispers Osiris into his ears, telling him not to forget the word. Venter warns Gemma not to bring any more visitors to the lab. Later that day, Roy is shown having a good time at a bar when Gemma calls and tells him she wants to make a drastic move and may need his help, but before she can explain any further, the call drops. Then we move back to the looped world. On attempt 144, Roy arrives at underground Atlanta and spots his son Joe. Roy follows him into the main arcade area, where he confesses he ditched school to participate in a video game tournament. The assassins arrive, and Roy uses his body as a shield to protect Joe, revealing that he is Joe's father before he dies. Roy realizes he is being tracked and discovers a transmitter in his tooth. He manages to lay ambush for his assassins and kill them all one after the other. Roy uses the next several resets to probe Dynow's defenses using trial and error. On attempt 156, after so many failed attempts, he finally gets into Dynow's labs through the help of a camouflage, but then he comes across Gwen Yin, who has been waiting for him in the building. Roy tries to shoot randomly at her, but she escapes the bullets and injures him with her sword just as she is about to finish him off. Venter walks in and reveals the truth about the machine in the lab and his plan. It is called the Osiris Spindle, a quantum device capable of rewriting history. Venter plans to use it to set himself up as the world's dictator. Venter also confirms his responsibility for Gemma's death and then proceeds to cut Roy's head off. Through this information, Roy realizes that Gemma used the Osiris Spindle to put him in a time loop, with some hope that he will defeat Venter and stop his evil plans. Roy comes alive again, still in the looped world, and goes around in search of someone who can teach him to fight with a sword. He finds a teacher and repeats the lesson over and over again on different attempts. On the 200th attempt we see him coming out of the elevator, obviously already in the Dinow building, and as Guanyin approaches he drops his guns and picks a sword off the wall. With his newly acquired martial arts skills he defeats Guanyin and stabs through her stomach with the sword. A security personnel comes shooting, but Roy stabs him in the head with the sword. Venter walks in, astonished by how Roy defeated all the obstacles set before him. They begin to fight, and just as Roy is about to kill him, he reveals that the Osiris spindle can't be shut down and that if it runs too long it will destroy the world. Roy discovers that while he is at Dinow, his son was being targeted by the other assassins. Roy arrives at the arcade to find police removing Joe's body from the scene. As Roy attempts to get past the police, the Osiris spindle explodes, destroying the world. These series of events throws Roy into a place of self-assessment, and he decides to start spending his days in the loop, bonding with Joe through various activities. On attempt 249, Roy and Joe have a longer conversation, and Joe reveals that he had gotten a voicemail from his mother that morning. Roy sees the timestamp on the message and realizes that Gemma is still alive when he wakes up each morning. He realizes that if he can be quick enough to get to Dinow's lab in the morning, he just might be able to save her. On a subsequent attempt, Roy jumps onto the helicopter and orders the pilot to fly them to Dinow. He knocks out the pilot and uses the minigun to kill all the assassins who tracked him to the facility, thereby saving Joe. Roy fights his way downstairs just in time to kill Venter and save Gemma. Roy reveals he has been spending his attempts being a father to Joe. Gemma explains that they may be able to stop the chain reaction if Roy enters the Osiris spindle, which will send him back to the start of the day one last time. Roy enters the Osiris spindle and awakens in his bed. The end. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe.